What's a happening YouTube? This is John nerding out with cards, and yeah, I'm doing another video already, but that's because I pulled off an old school 1-for-1 trade, and I am stoked to be able to show you all this. But first, I want to kind of, shout out a couple channels, show a couple things, and then I'll get into the main highlight. So the first one, and yeah, man, there's been a lot talked about him, but either way, I already missed the dude. But before he released that bombshell video, I had purchased this on the eBay after purchasing the Ozzie Smith Stadium Club gold minted, doing his flip outside of Cooperstown. And I picked up this 2022 gold minted Stadium Club because of our friend Brent Richards, Mr. Stadium Club. And look at that image of Yadi. And why gold minted? Because of his gold glove defense. Which I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I love defense. Love defense. Looks like he's receiving the ball. Getting ready to tag a runner out at the plate. Yeah. I'm hoping I can pick up some more of these Yadi. Yeah, I wanted to shout out Brent. Yeah, man, you've inspired me. My collection is better because of you, man. So, the next channel I want to shout out, and I don't think he knows who I am, which is not surprising at all. But when I think of Mets fans on the YouTube, I think of Mookie Chelson. And so I got a couple cards, which he's not going to like at all. But it's going to segue me into the trade. All right, so bear with me. So I got this card right here. 2006 Topps update. So the Cardinals and the Mets played in the LCS that year. Epic League Championship Series, went 7 games. And this is the Game 7 card right here. And man, there were so many emotions throughout this game. So top here is Endy Chavez, robbing Scott Rowland of a home run. And that was heartbreaking. Because he caught the ball, then he doubled Jim Edmonds off at first base. But then, Yadier Molina, the dude who can't hit. He was the hero, hit the home run. It proved to be the game winner. And, the Cardinals went on to win the World Series. Yeah, it's funny too, 'cause I collect newspapers. That's something that my grandmother started back when I was a kid. So I got a couple right here from that. So you see, you got the front page of the Post-Dispatch. Yadi, Yadi, Yadi. Oh, it's good stuff. And then you got the sports page. Play on the 69 Mets, but amazing. Yadi running the bases after his amazing home run. Oh man, love Yadier Molina. He's an awesome player because I got to watch him his entire career. Unlike Ozzie, where I came to be cognizant of baseball more towards the end of his career, but he was the man. But Yadi, I remember when he came up, and shout out to my Pittsburgh Pirates fans. Like Rev Steve's cards, Mangini. Oh, God, there's, Clemente collector. There's actually quite a bit of Pirates fans here on the YouTube. But, yeah, I remember 2004, excuse me, Mike Matheny, he got hurt. And the backup was the backup, whatever. But, so they called up Yadi. We didn't think it was going to be for an extended period of time. It was just going to be while Matheny was out. Excuse me. But, so he came up. The Cardinals were on the road. And, they were playing in Pittsburgh. I got a couple hits in his major league debut. So when Matheny came back, he ended up sticking around and, remained with the team for the rest of the season. The Cardinals, they had their pennant run, and Yadi got the start in Game 4 of the World Series that year. They were already down 3-0 on the way to the curse being broken, but Yadi was the future, and with the way that baseball games are televised and streamed and all these things, and my dad retiring from the Navy, so I'm getting to go to a lot of games, living in the St. Louis area for a period of time. I just got to watch so much of Yadi, and they were so good throughout his entire career. Fun fact, throughout Molina's 19-year career, do you want to know how many games the Cardinals were mathematically eliminated from the postseason? 9. 9 games in 19 years. That is wild. And yeah, I understand there's the wild card and all these things that have changed, but still that's wild because what's happened since he's retired? They had their worst season since 1990. Missed the playoffs last year. And they're doing okay this year, but to me, that just adds to the legend of Yadier Molina. So anyway, going back to that epic moment, Game 7, 2006 NLCS. Well, I love that moment. I love the player. So what did I do? I got the gold version of that card. And so for a long time, this was the Topps Gold Yadier Molina card I have had in my collection. Side note, what does Mookie Chelson, me, and you all have in common with Carlos Beltran 2006 NLCS bottom of the ninth? Well, if you haven't figured it out, we all watched Strike 3. So, anyway, joking aside, for years I thought about, do I do a Yadier Molina Topps Gold run because it ran throughout his entire career. I don't have it within me to super collect Yadi as much as I love him, just because of the way that the hobby was then when he started playing and has continued to expand, for lack of a better term, since then. So I just can't do the super collecting. But it's like, I want to do something, right? And I got some really cool Yachty cards, but I want to do something more special, right? If you had seen my Willie McGee video, I have my collection scope for him, and I want to have something for Yachty. So, I thought off and on, like, do I do a Topps Gold run? Problem is, there's one big card. So that's kind of a question, right? And it's been asked here on the YouTube. I've heard it before. I could ask you the same question, right? So what do you do? Do you accumulate cards to eventually pick up the big one? Or do you start off with the big one and then fill out the rest? Think of like any 50s and 60s set. The big one is Mickey Mantle. So do you get the Mantle first and then get everything else? Or do you get everything else and then the Mantle, right? Fair question. And so for the Yachty's Topps Gold run, it's just like, well, I could do it a little bit different, because I could get the years in which he won the Gold Glove, get those ones, or do I do the whole run? And I've always kind of wanted to do the whole run, right? So anyway, so I did a trade. If you remember from a video from before I went to the show where I met Joe, Redneck Collector, I was going to bring a card with me, and I did. I just didn't find the card I was looking for. So then what I ended up doing was I ended up posting it on a St. Louis centric sports cards Facebook group I'm in, and put it up there for trade. And I'll post a picture of that card here. And somebody responded and wanted to do the trade. And so we did it. And I got the card I really, really wanted back. And that's this. Yadi's 2004 Topps Gold rookie card. Serial numbered out of 2004. Awesome stuff, because, you know, I have a graded copy of his base rookie card, you know, because he's one of my all-time favorite players. This copy will not be graded. It has nothing to do with condition or anything like that. It's just I just don't want it graded. But yeah. And some of y'all might be thinking, why did you trade a serial numbered 1 out of 10 patch auto? That kind of gets into a thought process about autograph cards. I'm not an autograph card collector per se. I've never met Yadier Molina, so I don't have any memories of meeting him like I do Ozzy. So having an autographed Ozzy Smith card is much, much different. You know, I don't have Pujols autograph cards and things like that because, well, I've never met him. So I just don't have that emotional attachment. The patch auto, super, super artificially scarce card, it's an outlier within my collection. I really, really, really liked it, but I didn't love it. This, I love. You know, and it puts me on a path to where I can collect his Topps Gold cards throughout his career, which all of which are much, much cheaper than this one, of course. And so if you think about it, if I collect all the, you know, the set, you know, normal Yadi gold cards, All-Stars, and things like that, it's going to be like, what, around 30 cards or so? I'll have a lot more fun with those than I would with a singular card. Now, does that mean I don't want his base Topps cards? No, you see I have them all right here. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get like a top loader binder. The Z Folios, I think it is the popular one. And what I can do is I can put the base with the gold. That'd be pretty cool to do. But yeah, I'm stoked. You know, I finally have something for one of my all-time favorite players, a collection scope that I can pursue. And I absolutely loved watching Yadier Molina play. And I am so very, very happy to have this card within my collection. And I can't wait to get more. So I'll put these two together. So hopefully Mookie doesn't have hard feelings towards me. But if he does, I can understand why. Awesome cards. Love it. Love Yadi. But, yeah, like I said, that trade occurred. The cards came in, you know, for me and for the other guy. He was happy with the trade. I'm obviously happy with the trade. And so I wanted to wait until he was happy. So I wasn't, you know, risking showing a card that I ended up having to send back. But no, that was a lot of fun. You know, getting to do an old school, like, hey, I got a card, you got a card, you want to trade? That was pretty cool. But I hope you all enjoyed this, and you all have a good one.